What's going on, everyone? ObscureEdge is back, and I'm here with a DayZ review. Just want to say, if you're Canadian like me, we have Thanksgiving. Well, it's tomorrow, but a lot of people have it on the weekend. Just want to say Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. So let's just get right into this review. I'm going to start with pros and cons of the game. We'll start with the cons. There's been, first one I would say is sometimes you can walk into a building, or it's mainly some buildings. Sometimes you could walk into the building and die. From what I've heard, I haven't had it actually happen to me, thankfully, so that's one thing I will say could be a problem that you could have or run into, but I haven't personally had it. I have had where I've lagged out of a server before, and I joined back in as a new character, which meant my character must have died during the crash or the lag out or whatever, whether it was a zombie or another person that killed me, or maybe it just didn't register that my character logged out, so it spawned me in as a new character on the same server. Not too sure. Can be frustrating, but I'm going to also say the main rule and the first rule you must know of DayZ is never get attached to your loot. There is no sort of base building crafting system, so prepare to, as fast as you get your loot, be prepared to lose the loot just as quick. So that way it leaves less disappointment later down the road when you get something really good and whatnot. Once you start learning the map and learning the spawns, though, you're not going to really care too much about your loot anyway. The map's really big and it's really fun to explore and stuff like that. Another negative thing about the game is the zombies are pretty laggy. They do tend to rubber band, sometimes can be invisible. I have gotten hit by invisible zombies before. It's not an everyday occasion, but it does happen. But they are a lot more better than they were in the Arma 2 mod. They move, they leap over fences and stuff like that. I haven't had them personally come through a building. When I shut a door, as long as I'm not shutting it as they're walking through it, they won't go through the door, which is nice. So you can lock zombies in, or you could lock yourself in a building and not have to worry. I haven't had it where they actually glitch through a door or window on me. I think some people said they've had that issue, but it just depends when. I should also mention that I'm making this for review on 2016. In October. So I don't know what patch we're on, 0.60 or something like that. I forget what patch. Don't quote me on it. But we're pretty from all the other reviews I've seen, those were years ago. So I'm just doing an updated review and plus my personal review. Also keep in mind, guys, I do plan to review Rust as well. It's another game I tend to review. After my Miscreate review took off, I just wanted to do a couple more reviews. Anyway, I'm trying to think of something else that's negative. Okay. One of the main problems you're going to have if you already own this game and or want to buy this game is hydration and food. Excuse me. The main issue, I find it drops really quick, especially when you make a new character. Sometimes your guy will start hungry or thirsty. I'm going to tell you right now, the trick of the trade that I've learned to stay alive in DayZ is apple trees. You go to these apple trees, they're about it's a tiny, medium-sized tree, splits into two different huge branches, and you just collect apples. What I usually do is when I get into a server, say if I was fresh spawn, I'll look for the nearest town, get in it, try to get a backpack of any sort, even if it's a shitty one, find apple tree, which are usually located in small towns. They're not too big in the forest areas, but they can be found. They're pretty common, though, so they're not rare to find anyway. So what I do is I stack up on apples. I'll eat until my guy says energized and hydrated. That pretty much means I'm full of food and full of water, and then I'll stock my bag with more food and I'll get going. And that pretty much will last me forever anyway. Well, not forever, let's be honest, but it'll last me a good amount of time before I even have to eat and or drink again. Another thing is to get a hold of is either a water bottle or a canteen. I would personally always fill up on the water wells because they are purified. If you do it from the ocean, you will need purifying tablets. When it comes to crafting in the game, it has basic crafting that you can do, bandages, etc., etc. You can go on the line and see all the recipes and whatnot because they're not explained to you within the game, not that I've seen anyway. But anyway, the map is really big, so there is vehicles. I believe there's an off-roader car, a sedan, a truck, a bus, and something else. You need a lot to get them going: spark plug, battery, tires, gasoline, and I think that's it. I don't know. But there's a couple things to get them going, but maintaining them I wouldn't say is an easy task, or nor is it a hard task, but it's definitely worth keeping a vehicle going. It will get you around the map a lot quicker and safer from people and zombies as well. There's not a huge high population of zombies. In bigger areas there is, but there was a I think me and my buddy Inflect, we were playing the other day. We got swarmed by like a good 12 came out of nowhere, and it was actually pretty sick. It was almost something out of the movie, like out of a movie, which was, yeah, it was pretty neat. Some of the positives I will say, this game does not have skins because it's got so much variety in clothing to mix and match the look the way you want to look. Same goes for guns. There's tons and tons of guns, tons of pistols, tons of machine guns, tons of submachine guns, sniper rifles, you name it, it's got it. Another thing is, to stand out differently, say if I have a Glock, right? And then my friend has a Glock. Well, we both have the same gun. We're like, oh, okay. Well, you can paint stuff different colors, whatnot. But the main thing is the customization with the guns is you can get attachments that go on it, whether it's a flashlight, fucking scope, silencer. It doesn't matter what it is. Another thing to keep in mind about the guns is they use a magazine like a real gun would. You have to find a gun. I usually don't find them with magazines. You're going to want to find magazines and bullets, because if you find the bullets in the gun, you're only going to be able to chamber one bullet at a time, which isn't going to help you against even zombies, let alone a firefight. So the main thing is to find the magazine for the right gun and then fill it. There are clips on the ground. If you don't know what a clip is, it pretty much is within the... It's almost like a speed loader. Anyway, it helps you load the gun quicker, and... Anyway, that's just, you find them around anyway, but you can't put them in the gun. They're not like a magazine. So you do need a magazine to be able to fire multiple rounds and whatnot. Pretty much every gun, I believe, runs on some sort of magazine, except obviously the shotgun that you have to load each shell individually, and then their double barrel is 2 shells and whatnot. But there's plenty of fucking variety when it comes to clothing, to guns. You can even customize your character at the beginning. There's a couple different preset characters you could pick and fiddle around with, so that way we all don't look the same. Personally, if you're getting this game, the reason why I did was because I was watching a streamer, and he was playing on DayZ Asylum. It's an RP server, which is role-playing server. I personally like role-playing in games like this. I think I even did something similar with... was it Life is Feudal or Reign of Kings or something like that. I like the roleplay in certain games, and it's actually really entertaining. There's a lot of server rules, and there's a lot of stuff to go through, but it's worthwhile, in my opinion, to get onto an RP server. There is no kill on sight and stuff like that, and you pretty much want to act the way you would act in that situation, or you could be someone that you're not. You know what I mean? You could write a backstory about something you make up, and you're going to act that backstory out through the game, which is awesome. A lot of people don't like RP servers. There's too many rules, blah, blah, blah. I personally enjoy them, but that's personal preference. If you don't go for an RP server, make sure you go to a server that you know is looked after with admins and stuff like that, guys, because there are hackers on this game, from wall hacks to flying, whatever. As long as you're on a server that's well taken care of, you should not be running into those issues, because a server that's well taken care of will either find the hacker really quick, or they're just hackers have given up on the server because they get caught too quick and banned. So even though DayZ has a heavy price tag, I don't want to say that it's worth the $40 that I spent. I really enjoy it and definitely don't regret the buy, but it might not be enough content for some other people because there is no base building. Even though comparing, as I always do, comparing it to say H1 with base building, the pathetic base building in H1, in all honesty, the combat is way better in DayZ. The map is way bigger, more variety in vehicles. You don't have to pay for skins, more variety in guns. There's just more that DayZ has to offer than even H1 with the base building and battle royale. That's my personal opinion. When it comes down to these games, you guys all know I play a lot of crafting and zombie open world games. I will say Miscreated still has it down pat, where the base building looks sick. It's really entertaining to do. They got tons of vehicles, tons of guns, tons of clothing, all that stuff. Their zombies work even smoother since their last update. I personally still can't play it because of my processor being fried. Luckily enough, it's not fried enough to... I actually run DayZ better than I run H1. So, but Miscreated, it's just unplayable right now because it runs on the CryEngine. So, oh, excuse me, I just cleared my throat. I'm kind of getting over a cold, guys, so I do apologize for that. If my voice sounds a bit off, and I just got off work too, so I just wanted to punch out this review. I'm trying to think of anything else that I might be missing. If I do miss anything, write in the comments below. The thing with my reviews is, guys, I do it in one good swirl, like one good motion. I don't go back and do outtakes and cut the video up into pieces like a lot of other reviews do. So I do tend to sometimes miss the little things. I will say though, zombies do go down with about 1 to 2 hits with a melee if you're hitting them in the head, or 1 gunshot as well if you hit them in the head as well. I would say realistic terms of fighting another player, you die pretty quick with a couple bullets if you could hit them right, which is nice. But like I said, guys, if you want to live in DayZ, especially in the beginning until you know where all the food spawns are and stuff, excuse me, you want to get apple trees and get stocked up on those. You can find canned food, and you can open them with like knives or even an axe, but the bigger the object you're using to open it, I think the less food you get out of it. So the best thing is to find a can opener. They're pretty common though, throughout the game. Even though this game, has been in development for a long time, and I've been debating on it for about 1.5 years to buy it. I think that's roughly. I don't regret the buy. It's I have tons of fun with it already. I got like 30 hours in it, playing on RP server and other servers as well that are maintained. So if you have any questions below that I didn't answer, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure to get to you guys. But I think that's... I'm trying to think. I think that pretty much wraps up the review, though, guys. In all honesty, yeah, I can't really think of anything else to say about the game. I enjoy it. I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm gonna be doing a Rust review, probably in the next 2 weeks or something like that. Hopefully, the computer will soon be upgraded so I could actually record some gameplay and stuff and stream again. So, but happy Thanksgiving to everyone again. Hope you had a good one. If you did have Thanksgiving. I think the States has it later than us, but I don't know. I can't remember totally. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching this review. And till next time, happy gaming to you. See you later.